Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've been baking in the oven for a couple of weeks, but we're finally ready for consumption. Welcome to CommentForce number 37. I'm your host, Zach. I've got Jake. I've got Gabe, and we are back. It's been a while. Sorry for the gap in the CommentForce uploads, but we are back, and we will be back. No more worry, no more fears. We have a reputation to hold up, and this is the perfect week to do that. So, with that being said, I'm gonna flip-flop things here and say, Jake, how was your week?
How was my week?
I know you're shocked that I'm asking you, but yeah.
How was my week? What?
He really does care. Just playing some Mario, playing some Sonic.
Actually, I'm gonna answer for you.
Not comparing them at all.
Your week is clearly bad because I'm looking at the Sonic Forces game case, and you did not use the Joy-Con skin, so I don't know how you could have a good week.
Well, you know what? Another funny story about my Joy-Con is I got so angry playing Mario one time that I smashed the Joy-Con and the right stick doesn't click in anymore. You can press it really hard and make it the function happen, but it doesn't do the clicking noise anymore. So that's kind of a rip to my right red Joy-Con. Also, laughing a lot at Snipper Clips. That was a hoot of a time. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out because I was crying again. It was like Overcooked all over again.
Also, it's very strange to me that whenever I try to play video games with my brother, he cries.
And laughter. In laughter, it's a good cry. Yeah. Just tear up with joy.
Gabe, I really want to make a secretive fake rumor about what you were doing this week, but I don't have.
Yeah, you can't even say where I was.
Oh, okay. Well, then I can't.
Yeah, no. You can't say where I was. You can't say what I was doing. And that's the reason. I mean, to address that, because a lot of people were asking, like, "Hey, what's been up with CommentForce?" 1 week, Super Mario Odyssey happened, and the other week, Travels happened. And
it sure happened.
Yeah. Zach was out of town, and I was out of town, and Jake can't do CommentForce by himself.
I could.
That would be. Well, yeah, you could.
Jake, you need to call back the powers of your two childhood imaginary friends and do a three-way CommentForce.
Could definitely could do that. Do I make up different voices for them, or do I just be silent and let them speak for themselves?
Yeah, please let them speak for themselves, Jake.
Okay.
So yes, there wasn't this big conspiracy about us canceling CommentForce. I saw a couple theories about what happened.
There's theories?
Yeah. And while entertaining, they were very wrong.
Did any of them make it onto Game Theory?
No.
Dang. We were so close to being famous. Can I tell a weird story about my week?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in charge here. You can do it.
Make sure you can tell it.
I was borderline illicitly filmed without my permission and put on a massive Instagram channel.
We can't say what Instagram channel, unfortunately.
Why?
Wait, can we talk about a person like that on here?
I don't know why we can't.
Because
they talked about me.
We're a very
They talked about me.
Okay, well, listen.
Oh.
I was at Disneyland and Mia Khalifa decided to film me for whatever reason, put me on her Instagram story, and then I had 100 messages like, was that you? And I was like, I didn't even know this was happening. I wasn't even aware this was going on.
All right. Seriously, I never thought we would ever bring up Mia Khalifa on Switchforce. So
she's just a human being wandering around the happiest place on earth.
Sure.
And speaking of happiest place on earth, let's get to the comments where some of you are happy and some of you aren't, but you should be happy after the return of this amazing show. Big Tasty says, stop messing with my emotions and give us CommentForce this weekend. I can't go one more weekend without it. Great work, guys. I know you're busy, but it's CommentForce. And Big Tasty, we're going to give you something to suck on, and that's this CommentForce.
I told you guys I was coming back this week. I'm not a liar. I was afraid that I was lying when I typed those things out because I forgot that I was going to be out of town. But here we are, reading your comments, Big Tasty, just for you.
And I think we should be back. We'll be good throughout the rest of the year, barring any weird trips or unexpected travels. Yeah. So Big Tasty, no worries. Your salvatory glands will be quenched.
Jacob Warecki says, hello, Zach, Gabe, and Jake. I was wondering what your favorite kingdoms were in Super Mario Odyssey. Mine was Cascade. I don't want to say what my favorite was because
I was going to say we can't.
Mine are later in the game.
We learned our lesson, boys.
Yeah,
I don't know if we can say.
I mean, of the announced ones that have people already know about,
Sure.
I thought that Lake was really cool. There were some really interesting captures that like were very small mechanics, but I just thought it was a cool little kingdom. I mean, I enjoyed it. But yeah, my favorite ones were later in the game that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to get more spoiler hate.
Zach, do you got yours? I think mine and Zach's might be the same one.
I really like a lot of later ones, but I am a big fan of Wooded Kingdom. I thought that was a really well put together level. That to me feels the most like a Mario 64 level, and I think that's what I liked about it. I also really like Luncheon. My favorite capture is in Luncheon.
Yeah.
The little bird guy that sticks his beak into stuff, like that's my favorite.
Luncheon was going to be mine, so. We cover a wide...
Wait, is he in that kingdom? He's not in that kingdom.
No, you're just spoiling things left and right. So moving on to Jackpot.
No, people are good about it now.
I really like the kingdom that has the bird guy.
No, I'm sticking with Luncheon. It's just so colorful and unique looking. I like it.
All right, Gabe, take us to Jake's pot.
Oh, Jack.
Jake, stop making separate accounts and writing in.
Yeah, Jake, how many times are you going to comment?
First you're Jacob, now you're
I'm trying to get us to do
Jake.
CommentForce, so I'm just going to write a bunch of comments.
Jackpot says, anyone know when Enter the Gungeon comes out on Switch? No.
We don't, but like I thought this is incredibly important because this is the game that I've wanted for a long time of all the indies, like personally even more than Rocket League. I love Enter the Gungeon. I didn't have enough time to play it on PC. I want to play it more, and they're releasing it on Switch with the new expansion. It's supposed to hit this year. They're running out of time, so let's go.
Sort of similar, but The End is Nigh is coming on the 12th of December. The games are like nothing alike, but just anticipated indie games that are supposed to be coming to the Switch this year that we knew nothing about. December 12th for The End is Nigh. Have no information for you on Enter the Gungeon. It's probably going to be one of those like surprise, like, hey, this thing's out releases, like kind of like how Golf Story was, where they like announced it and like 2 days later it's out. I mean, Rocket League did something similar. They announced a date and then like, hey, a week later it's out. So,
I mean, people have played it, like they've shown it off on live stream, so it's got to be soon. Also, there is a Enter the Gungeon Payday 2 crossover, so maybe they'll both come on the same day.
That's what you've all been waiting for.
Yeah. Anyhow, I don't know. I love that game. I cannot wait to play it. One of my most played Switch games is actually Goner, so like this is gonna be good.
That's so weird, but all right.
Yes. Anyhow, moving right along. Wesley Foreman says, "Ha! I called it. 6 or 7 out of 10, baby. I am the fortune teller of review scores. In all seriousness, I don't get it. It's like Sonic Team doesn't want to learn from their mistakes. They had a perfect blueprint with Generations, but yet they still didn't follow it. Granted, this may be due to Sonic Team making the level design team a bunch of newbies instead of veterans from Colors and Generations, but the point still stands that they didn't follow their own blueprint. I'm honestly disappointed. I'll probably grab Forces when it drops to $20.
I'm conflicted on Sonic Forces because I've told this to you, Zach, and I've tweeted about it. That game infected me. Like, it made me want to play bad Sonic games. So,
whoa.
Infection.
Yeah, like I went back on Steam and like I was seeing what games were available, and there's bad Sonic games. I heard bad 3D Sonic games. Let me be clear, because the 2D Sonic games, those are generally well regarded. But like I want to go play like Sonic Unleashed. Like I want to play that, like just because everybody seems to hate it, and I never played it. But a Werewolf Sonic sounds like bonkers. And to me, Forces, well, it's not my type of game. I understand how a Sonic fan likes that game. I see the charm in it, but but this one isn't like, you know, one of like the terrible ones. There are people that defend Sonic Forces, so I want to see the ones that people just don't defend. Like, how bad can it get? Generations,
strange obsession game.
I remember playing Generations and liking it. Colors I didn't play because it was on Wii, and by that point my Wii was in a closet somewhere, and I wasn't sure as I wasn't coming up for Sonic. But if it was on PC, I would probably play that too. I'm gonna play a bunch of bad Sonic games. You mark my word.
The thing I want to talk about this is, it is interesting that they can continue to make similar mistakes over and over again. And we have to imagine that it's not the same exact core of people making it. Like there is turnover.
So I'm sorry to cut you off here, but somebody tweeted this at me. The design team for Generations and Sonic, again, they were veterans, but there was more of them. There was like 6 of them or something. For Sonic Forces, there was like 2 people, and they're like new dudes. Like, So the amount of people is like far less, and also the experience that came along with that was also far less. So that's how you ended up with Sonic Forces being the way it is.
Yeah, I just don't get how, like, after try, like, they seem to be making a lot of the same mistakes, you know?
Except that they don't, because Mania was a big hit.
Yes, but Mania was a completely different...
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't
that
Sonic. That wasn't Sonic Team making it. But Sega, I think, recognizes what a good Sonic game is. And, to be frank, I think the potential for Forces to be good was there. Everything was there. Like, the customizable, like, avatar thing, like, that's a good idea. It might not have been, like, fleshed out in the best way, but the idea itself is sound. The idea of bringing in classic Sonic and modern Sonic, like, it all works well. But the level design this time around wasn't great, and I can't compare it to very many other, 3D Sonic games, but, like, there's a lot of, like, super weird, like, level design, and, the gameplay... And I understand this is how 3D Sonic works, at least in the modern sense. Like, going forward and just, like, tapping a button, it's not super fun. Like, they gotta figure out a way to change that up.
I like Jake's quote where he said Sonic controls like a over rambunctious child.
Yeah, even, going back and beginning a quest to try to 100% Sonic Forces, which I still might do at some point. Like, finding all the collectibles, right? Like, trying to find those, like, alternate paths to find the red rings or whatever. It's a nuisance to have to, like, slow down, because Sonic is not meant to go slow. So the way he controls when going slow is so weird. It's not,
and you feel like you're doing it wrong. Like, at least that's how I feel. Like, when I slow down, like, I'm just trying to, like, find a different route or something. Like, I feel like I was playing the game wrong. I feel like I was like, this is not how this game is meant to be played. Like, you're supposed to be going fast, making, like, split-second decisions, and then when you go slow, you're just like, this is not supposed to be like this, super tight platformer.
Yeah, and I agree with you. They want you to play through those levels, like, a bunch of times. They want you to get the S rank, like, super quickly, and then they want you to go back and go through it slowly to collect all those red rings. Then they want you to go through it again to collect those, like, 5 numbers that go backwards that you have to collect quickly. Then they want you to go back again to get those silver moons. Like, there's a lot of collectibles in this, and they're, like, in such, like, weird, like, places. And the worst part is, if you miss some of these, there's no going back. You got to restart the whole level, and the levels aren't that long, but still, like, it can get annoying.
Yeah. Sonic Forces, ladies and gentlemen.
A lot of thoughts about Sonic Forces. Amanda M says, I don't have a TV yet, so I play handheld only, LOL. And that's interesting, but I mean, that's the beauty of the Switch. You don't need a TV. You can play it anywhere, anytime. It has its own TV built in.
I love the idea that this person, like, doesn't have a TV yet. That they got a new apartment, and they're like, you know what? Screw the TV. I'm gonna get a Switch, and that it can, like, exist on its own as a portable TV. And now that Hulu's there, it's even more of a portable TV. Breaking news: the Switch outsells televisions 2018.
Fake news. With the Hulu announcer, we have to imagine Netflix and YouTube and stuff is coming. Right. And in such an unceremonious way as well. Like, that was surprising that they're like, hey, Hulu's out today, guys. I expected it to be like a thing in, like, a January Direct where they talk about what they have coming this year, something like that. But yeah, they just like, hey, Hulu's out there now. I downloaded Hulu while on my travels, but it had this weird thing that when I tried starting it up, like, it couldn't find my location. It says, cannot start up. We can't find your location, which is weird. But I was on, like, hotel Wi-Fi, so maybe that had something to do with it. I'll probably try it at some point here at home. But Amanda, hopefully you can watch Hulu now.
Very, very nice.
All right, so we continue on to Fries82. Says, what's the noise in your guy's background? Sounds like sometimes like someone's cleaning plates. Am I the only one who can hear it? What's this?
Gabe, were you doing dishes again while you're trying to record?
Yeah, did you know that Gabe moonlights as a dishwasher for the fanciest restaurant in all of Texas?
Well, was this for a video where it's just me?
It was me and you.
What? So
it was our Doom review.
Who was doing dishes? Who was cleaning the plates?
Neither of us.
No, the only guess I have is maybe, like, my laundry, like, because where I record, it's, like, right next to, like, the laundry room. So, like, maybe that.
Actually, Gabe, it's probably your cool hot rod car, probably just making some grinding noises as it rub those rims on the curbs.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, or my laundry. One of the two.
Random Entertainment we've been covering some rumors lately, and he says, I bet these came from the rumor rat.
This was also in reference to Hulu. And I don't understand people, because people get mad when we label things rumor, and then people, like, get mad when we don't call things rumor. So, I don't know. You guys are hard to please.
Well, I just want to tell people that part of the reason CommentForce hasn't been here is because we've been hunting down the rumor rat. We finally got him back.
Yeah.
He's an elusive little creature.
It's hard, Gabe. Okay, I know you don't have this in Texas. We have a lot of leaves that fall in the fall. That's why it's called fall. And rumor rat, it's hard to track him when he's running through those dang leaves.
I know you don't have this in Texas. We don't have fall in Texas.
No, but summer all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, the rumor rat, he what do you call it? His services cost a pretty penny to get the rumors out of him.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you think Gabe had to do so many dishes?
Yeah.
No, not like a lot of money. He really wants pretty pennies.
Oh, well,
we gotta find the shiniest pennies.
He wasn't washing plates. He was washing dang metal pennies.
All right, Alien Frequency. To call the PS4 version superior, quote unquote, as Gabe always likes to say, is very subjective, in my opinion.
Subjective.
What? You're
Wait,
just echoing me, Gabe? Gabe's gonna do some ad libs as I
Gabe
do this
decided to,
Skirt. No, I you guys both went silent, so I freaked out. Sorry.
Okay, so we got PS4 version superior. Gabe thinks it's superior, but Alien Frequency thinks it's subjective in their opinion. To me, having basically the same game with a portable option makes that version, the Switch version, superior. It's not a knock on the PS4 or Xbox One. I have a PS4, but honestly, I've barely even touched it since the launch day of the Switch. Being stuck to my TV to play a game just doesn't appeal to me anymore. The Switch truly has changed the way I game. Boom! The Switch is doing things.
Frequency, you gonna drop a gauntlet on me like that, bruh? No, well, I mean, obviously, and sometimes I feel like these things go without saying, but I guess I have to say them. So when I mean superior, I mean that the frame rate's higher. I mean that the resolution is higher. To me, that is what quote-unquote superior means. Just pure, like, factual, mechanics of the way the game works. If Zach, if your life is 480p and my life is 720p, my life is superior to yours.
What? Gabe, you're using a blanket term as in superior as... Like for the technical standpoint of the game.
You mean higher tech specs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Okay. And again, I thought that went without saying, but obviously
superior specs.
Yes.
Right,
yes.
Speaking of specs, I want to speculate a little.
Whoa.
Here's my question.
Okay.
These people and there was a lot. Alien Frequency, like his or her opinion was echoed throughout the comments.
Wait,
these
people
how
do you know this is her?
He said him or her.
Oh, okay.
These comments, are they something that these people always held true, that like, oh, graphics don't matter? Or were there a bunch of people that were like, yeah, graphics don't matter to me and performance doesn't matter to me? Or did the Switch create this? Like, is the Switch such a cool device that...
No, wait, hold on. This has existed.
Yeah, Zach, finish your sentence.
I was just saying, like, when the Switch arrived... Because it's so cool that it's portable, did people then sort of flip and be like, you know what, this portability for me usurps tech specs? Or were there, because like,
I'm not a person who's
I feel like outside of the Switch, people are always like, oh, PC, PS4, like that's like a very common thing, like, oh, this doesn't run well, it reviews lower, it doesn't look as pretty, it reviews lower. And now with the Switch, we're seeing like people say like, doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, now it's an option. I mean, I don't survey people, so I don't know other people's opinion, but I was never really a super high, like, graphics snob. Like, I was more concerned about, like, the story and the gameplay and things like that than the graphics. So, I mean, I think there are people who do exist. And there's people who go back and play older games because they just enjoy them more, and obviously they have way lower tech specs, so...
But Alien Frequency, let me also address this. When you say that to you the Switch version is superior, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like I have no issue with anyone thinking anything is like superior, like whatever. Like again, when I was saying that like Doom on PC is like a superior game, all I mean is that it can run prettier and more smoothly with the 60 FPS. That's all I mean. I don't mean anything by it. Like honestly, I rarely play PlayStation 4 or Xbox. When I play those things, it's just because I want to play like Madden or like 2K. For the most part, I play on PC and I play on Switch. Switch is my primary console at this point. I absolutely love this thing, and the portability, I can 1000% see how that makes it superior for you. And I never mean to like disparage or knock the Switch or any other console. I was strictly going based off, there being a version of the game that is quote unquote better.
Thank you, Gabe, for your testimony.
Spec-wise. Yeah.
And Gabe, carry us on to Reynaldo because he has a similar train of thought.
Reynaldo Peria Elise. It's a difficult name, Reynaldo, but I appreciate you. Well, we all know that it's inferior to the other versions, but the fact that something just a little bit larger than a cell phone I carry in my pocket can run Doom with this quality is pretty amazing to me. And I have to say I agree. I feel like we if this is on the review or on the Let's Play that I did, I feel like both of those videos echoed the sentiment for the most part. Like, we're pretty amazed by this too. We can't talk about which games, but there's more third-party games coming that are also running really, really well on Switch. The Switch is not as much of a slouch as people think it is. And once you get over the fact that, the textures aren't going to be like as high quality and the resolution's not going to be as high quality and you're going to play at a lower frame rate, once you get adjusted to all that, like, these games, like, they work super well on a console that, again, just a bit bigger than your phone. I mean, a bit is relative, but it's, barely bigger than your phone.
I think barely is an understatement.
I'm surprised by this response, honestly. Like, I hear people on podcasts, like, just recently I was listening to Rebel FM, and they were talking about how Wolfenstein 2 on Xbox One looks like butt, and, like, that's a quote. But with the Switch, all of a sudden people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, and to me, like, I agree. Like, it is super impressive that you can run it. I'm not saying that I think this, but I am surprised that people aren't harsher on the performance and the visuals. To me, that like, comments like this from Ronaldo show that the Switch has modified people's minds by providing a style of gaming that maybe they didn't know how much they wanted.
Yeah, I think
I feel like. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like just people in general are resistant to change. So they didn't. In the beginning, we had tons of comments that were like, "Oh, it's like just an indie machine. It's only playing. It's not playing. Can't play the big games and things like that. And the portability is not that great. I'd rather just sit and play on my big TV." And now I think people are starting to really understand what the Switch is meant to do and the way it's supposed to be played, and are starting to, integrate it into their lives more. And now we're like, okay, I can sacrifice, some of the frame rate or the graphics for the portability and the enjoyment of playing on the Switch. So I think it is like, it has changed people's minds. And I think that initial pushback of just like, oh, it's like you have to sacrifice some of these tech specs in order to have this more enjoyable experience. And I think some people were resistant to that, and now they're catching on.
Well, I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday about how Nintendo's the only console maker that has like a clear path going forward about what they can do. And I mean, I don't like when we talk about Xbox and PlayStation, but we'll talk about them a little bit. What are they doing next? Like, they've acknowledged that PS5 and next Xbox is happening, but what are you doing? Xbox One X is doing 4K. Like, what's that next big jump for Nintendo? Since they have gone with like such a less impressive visual standard to go forward with, I feel like, hey, you can easily just do 1440p on the next Switch, or 4K on the next Switch. Like, they have that wiggle room. Like, what's Xbox doing? Like, what's next? More like 4K plus? Like, you already have HDR. Like, 8K is definitely not ready. So if these next consoles get announced in the next maybe 3 years or something, I struggle to see where they're going. And they're very creative people, and of course there's going to be an audience for all of that. 4K is becoming widely adopted. A bunch of people are going to get TVs now with Black Friday coming up. So they're going to be at a little bit of a crossroads. Like, the person I was speaking to is like super into Xbox, and I won't get into too much stuff there, but he said that he envisions that maybe Microsoft's next console is a hybrid of some kind. Boo. And then that was interesting to me. Like, what if Xbox or Sony make their next console a hybrid? Then Nintendo is in a little bit of a tougher spot because they have competition. Right now, no one's competing with them. Not just as far as like, oh, Switch is outselling. That's not what I mean. But what I mean by that is they're doing something completely different that no one else is doing. And it's just an interesting conversation. So
yeah, diminishing returns, the visuals, can they continue to put more power so that games have bigger worlds and can load more textures and have faster, La-di-da, sure. I think also at a certain point, especially for a long generation with these, half-step consoles that aren't doing anything new, just doing things better, that just even the variance is enough to get people excited. Like a new controller, a new interface, a new box, like that is a lot of, I think, what gets people hyped about a new console. Obviously, yes, the visuals or whatnot, but at this point, you're right. Like, we are going to see diminishing returns. Microsoft tried to do like the all-in-one entertainment center. I don't think that was the correct solution.
No, that's not working.
Maybe in a couple of years, that's more appealing just based on where people are at with.
Why don't they just double down on games? Put all their research and development and money into making better new games for the same system.
That's what. And again, I hate to talk about them so much, but that's what Xbox is doing now. Phil Spencer came out and said, like, hey, now we made the most powerful console. Now we're going to focus on putting, exclusive games on it. So,
and I think that's where it's going to go. I think you're absolutely right. I think if you can provide say like, hey, instead of the high point being PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, that's the baseline, and we're going to start a new generation creating games with that as the sort of the foundational floor. That's enough to get people excited. If you have new exclusive games, things that are, exciting and enticing, and I think, especially with Nintendo creeping in on the market share, and in theory they will continue to do so based on projections, exclusives and top-tier titles are going to become more and more important. I personally don't think Microsoft or Sony are going to go the hybrid route. I think the Vita kind of signaled the death knell for Sony or Microsoft doing anything like that or trying to compete with Nintendo in that space.
Here's the only caveat there. Xbox is kind of priming for it in some way. Their streaming is what people are assuming the hybrid nature of a next Xbox would come to play with. They have the Game Pass currently working, but of course, as the years go by, broadband gets a little bit better slowly in America, but it does get better. Games like just streaming it like portably to like your hands, like it's not going to be that the next Xbox is going to like have a dock and it's going to have all the specs in it. Like I don't think that's what's happening, but people figure that you're going to be able to stream the games to it at a high resolution. But
perhaps,
yeah, who knows? That there's a lot to go into there that we won't do here.
Name Changer says, I don't see the Switch outselling the Wii. The Wii sold so well because it hit that casual audience, which I don't think the Switch does. Like, even my grandma had a Nintendo Wii. And I want to ask you guys, do you think the Switch appeals to a casual audience?
Yes, maybe casual, but not elderly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I think it appeals to a casual audience with these games like Mario and things like that. And, it's kind of, there are some things like 1-2 Switch or more motion controller snipper clips where it's kind of, marketed as more for everybody or for younger kids. I don't think it maybe appeals to like elderly as much because it looks like, this like portable, basically like a smartphone type thing. But I don't know. I think it has a wide enough base of target audience that it could outsell the Wii.
I can dig a little bit deeper into this. Since I made the video, I did some of the research. 101 million. That's the number for Wii. PlayStation 2 and PlayStation outsold that. That wasn't being sold to grandmas. So there's definitely enough core gamers out there that will buy this thing. At some point, 3DS is gonna die, whether we like it or not. That's gonna go away in the Switch's life cycle. That's pretty safe to say. So people that have experienced Nintendo as only a portable device, whether it be with a 3DS, 2DS, Game Boy, whatever, there's an audience there that just doesn't play on consoles. That I feel like they're the ones that could bring this over the Wii. I don't think casual people are the ones that are needed anymore, because casual people are probably on their phone or something, or maybe they're still playing their Wii. If you're like that casual, you could maybe even still be playing your Wii and you're cool. So I feel like the handheld market is where the Switch can make up the ground there and maybe surpass the Wii. Do I think it happens? Probably not, but the likelihood is there. And I have to imagine that a investment like firm is more knowledgeable than me. I hope they are. So when they make statements like this, I feel like there's something behind them. I feel like they know things that I don't. So
I mean, I think so much of this is also Nintendo dictated. How long do they let this console be the prime console? If it's 6 years, then that's much more of a likely proposition than if it's a 4-year or and that. And I think, Gabe, the handheld thing hits it right on the head, because if we look at the top selling systems of all time, I don't like to look at the Wii for the Switch. I like to look at the Nintendo DS, which sold 154 million units, which is significantly higher than the Wii. And if the Switch is the main Nintendo console for a while and the 3DS goes away like we think, there is no reason that it can't climb towards those numbers. Because in just the same way that the motion was such an interesting and appealing mechanic to the Wii, the portability and the hybrid nature, I feel, is just as alluring of a gimmick. Now, maybe it doesn't target the grandmas because they're not getting the Good Morning America, do we fit and be healthy traffic. But being able to take your games on the go, the Nintendo appeal, drawing more and more third parties towards it, eliminating the 3DS, creating this system that can be a handheld and a home console, and thereby can appeal to both sectors of the gaming audience. I think you have to look at the DS and say, how did the DS sell 154 million? And maybe, you know, that was dual screen. It was sort of the first of its kind. It was really an elevated experience above the Game Boy Advance. So maybe, you know, a little bit of a perfect storm scenario there. But if Nintendo gives this the focus and the time, I think that its, quote, gimmick or its main idea is just as strong or stronger than the Wii's in terms of longevity and overall sales.
I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it outsold Wii. I don't think it happens, but if it does, that's not a shock at all. Like, I feel like Nintendo's primed for a big win. Like with this, like it's theirs to lose. Like if they do a certain amount of things correctly, of course, I feel like it's super feasible.
For sure.
The Fourth Edge coming in hot with a brand new comment. As much as I like Snipper Clips, I think I'm going to have to pass on picking up this one. I just couldn't find a lot of people to play vanilla Snipper Clips with, and I never actually beat it because of that. I definitely think that Snipper Clips is enhanced playing with multiple people, but I think you can enjoy it on your own. I mean, it's harder and not as fun because you're kind of like just taking turns, switching off between each of the two snip and clip, as we call them here at SwitchForce. But I think it's a valid reason not to pick it up because you don't have people to play it with, because it does make it a lot more fun to play with somebody else. But I think that the puzzles and the way you have to think is very, very interesting in these new ones. Having played through the Fourth World, if you can find someone to play with,
it's the
get
best
it
world
immediately.
Play with strangers.
Or do that.
Be careful how you approach them, but you can play with strangers.
Call up an Uber.
Gabe, your next video that you need to make on your own is like a tutorial on how to approach strangers to play the Switch.
That'd be a very short video.
Oh, you can have like different ways.
You
like
film yourself.
Like,
yeah, you need to have examples.
Yeah, approach number 1, the greet and then show the Switch. The approach number 2.
The greet and seat. Okay.
But no, I was gonna say, call up an Uber, book a very long trip, and then tell them you don't want them to actually take the trip. You're paying them to play Snipper Clips.
There you go. That's perfect.
Gabe, the next comment is for you and about you.
Top Dog says, "You sound like an Italian mafia don." Sure. Wait,
Gabe,
what
are you hiding from us? Let's be real now.
Games of the week.
Okay, because if it was on the Wheels of Aurelia video, I feel like that would make sense, just because I spoke I pronounced certain words there in an Italian manner because the game takes place in Italy. Thank you.
Gabe,
little known fact, I used to like be super into like The Sopranos, and like Goodfellas is one of my favorite movies. Like, I'm super into this stuff, so thanks. I don't know.
I trust Top Dog. He's sniffing out something that we don't know about Gabe. We need to look deeper into this.
If there's ever a second resurgence of the Mafia, Gabe, we know we can count on you to start up our own group.
The Cosa Nostra never truly goes away, Zach.
Gabe's Mafia versus Fourth Edge.
Boy, that'll go well for you guys.
Gabe, I don't want you to really be a mafia don. I more want you to be like a evil detective. I want you in like a trench coat and one of those like hats, and I want you to walk in and be like, "Son, I'm sorry it has to end this way," and then you like pull out your switch and like hit him over the head.
I like how that's your like
and it's
definition
in black
of
and
evil.
white. It's in black and white.
Speaking of detectives, I'm sorry I just keep taking this to weird places on this episode, but I've missed CommentForce. Murder on the Orient Express. I want to see that thing. It looks so weird.
Got really bad reviews.
Did it? I haven't looked.
It has the curse of Johnny Depp, I guess.
Nah, I forgot he was in it too. All right, never mind. You killed my desire to see this thing.
John Ingvald has a different desire for a movie. He wants there to be an animated version of our Snipper Clips World 4 video, Jake.
An animated version?
Like, you know how people on YouTube have, like, animators make, like, funny moments?
Oh, like of us. Oh, okay, I got you, yeah.
Where, like, they take things literally or do, like,
right.
full animations.
So hey, if somebody wants to do that, I would watch that, like, 100 times over. Like
This
take
is
the
the part of
best
the show
moments
where
and
we
make like
say-
a 5-minute animated video on it. I would literally watch it all day.
Right. This is the part of the show where we say, hey, please occupy Jake's days and animate a version of this so that he can have a new life purpose.
Have you guys seen the
You guys still haven't. Again, I keep taking this places. You guys still haven't seen the ending for The Office, have you?
Yes, of course I have. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna make a connection. Don't worry. Have you seen the ending for The Office?
Yes. Zach hasn't.
Did you get a respond?
No.
Okay. All right. This isn't going to be a big spoiler. Don't worry. But Andy Bernard, he ends up on YouTube, and he's there like clicking on his video over and over, and he's just like so like surprised how the views keep going up. He's like, oh, now there's 300, 301, and it's just him refreshing the page. So that's what I imagine Jake would be doing here with this video. Just
Yeah.
like he'd be so enamored by the number going up every time he watches it.
And I'd be replying to every comment.
Yes.
Right. That is CommentForce. We are back. I would like to close out this episode by saying that Taylor Swift's album is really good.
Wait, is it available for sale on Apple Music? Because I know it's not being streamed.
Yeah, it's available for sale.
Okay.
I bought it.
Have you guys
My
seen
birthday buddy.
the 20-second, speaking of animation, 20-second animated Lucas the Little Tarantula?
Yes, I love it.
It's so good. I want a whole TV show about it. Gabe, go look up Lucas the Spider.
Lucas the Spider. Okay, I'll do that.
It's 20 seconds, but it's amazing.
Is the album actually about Kanye, or are they being exaggerated?
No, it's mostly all about her being in actual love this time and having a good relationship.
Where
am I
did
looking
this
for
come
this?
from?
Tony the Spider.
She's just me and Taylor have finally found each other.
Wait, what'd you say?
Me and Taylor have finally found each other.
No, you said to look something up. Did you say
Lucas
Tony
the Spider.
Or make it
Lucas the Spider.
Lucas. Why? Who's Tony?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
That's Gabe's Italian mobster name.
Listen, if you don't
Antonio.
be careful, Tony's gonna come and take you out with a switch.
Me llamo Antonio. Even though I'm speaking Spanish and not Italian, whatever.
While Gabe is confused about culture and Jake is laughing at me. For
Oh, that's
having
creepy.
really
I don't. No.
understand.
I don't like spiders. No. Bye.
Bye. Have
Switch
a great
Force
week,
out.
everyone.
Switch Force
Have a great
out.
week. We love you. Keep the comments coming. Thanks so much. CommentForce is back. Sorry about the misses. Go check out
Sorry about
Tony,
the misses.
Tony the Spider.
The misses.
Mrs. Switchforce, she was real angry, and she didn't let us record CommentForce. This is getting off the rails, so before it falls off completely and we have to do complete coaster repairs, thank you so much for watching. We love you all so much. Let's try to make sure Gabe doesn't go on tangents next week, so please leave comments about...
Leave comments
more-
that'll take me on tangents. Yeah.
No more comments about tangents. Also, I want to leave you with some food for thought for the week.
Tangerines are terrible.
What?
Hey, Jake, what's your food for thought?
Does it have to be about food?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Just okay.
He has
Jake's
no
life
thoughts.
lesson is that there's no thought.
Yeah.
He has no thoughts.
Don't.
The power of now.
Don't
Sit on a
think.
bench and yeah.
Zach, say bye.
Yeah. No, I gotta give my food for thought. If you are looking for purpose and meaning in your life,
I am.
just examine. You are.
Speak to me.
You are. Okay. Look at the way the wind blows the leaves. They allow themselves to be carried as they go, and they don't fight it. And I think sometimes going with the flow is the best way to go.
That's definitely a Taylor Swift lyric.
Or Dr.
actually not.
Seuss.
My favorite song in Reputation is called Dress.
No!
It's about
Switch
how
Force
she
out!
bought a dress for her
Switch
boyfriend
Force
just so
out.
he could take it off. And basically, that is the meaning of life. So until next time, a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. For myself, Gabe, Jake, the Rumor Rat, and Taylor Swift, Switch Force out.